Hey guys, today we're propagating some rosemary. We love rosemary here because we have so many gophers, and rosemary is a really great gopher deterrent, so we like to plant it everywhere in our gardens. So I prune my rosemary often, and since I'm pruning them anyway, I just go ahead and propagate the cuttings, and it's really easy to do. You don't even need some rooting hormone. Right now it's the beginning of February, and it's the perfect time to propagate rosemary because it's just gradually getting warmer. So go ahead and prune your rosemary back. I like to make my cuttings about 6 inches, anywhere between 4 and 6 inches, and I'll usually get 2 cuttings off of that one stem. The reason I prune my rosemary so often is because I really like my rosemary to bush out. Rosemary has a tendency to get kind of leggy if you don't prune it, so I like my bushes to look nice and full. And these plants, this one I just cut from is 2 years old, and the first one that you saw is barely a year old. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up some pots that I'm reusing with some potting mix. I'm using the same potting mix that I use to soil block. This is just compost and that coconut coir. And this is just a great medium to propagate in or to seed start in, and I just really like it, so I use it for just about everything. I'm filling these up all the way, and I'm not really compacting the soil. The reason I'm using these trays is because I know I'm going to keep these in here for 4 to 6 weeks, which is quite a long time, and I'm expecting these to grow a lot of roots before I end up transplanting them in the ground. I'll probably end up keeping them in here for way longer than 4 to 6 weeks. In fact, I may not even plant these in the ground until fall. Now I'm just tapping the pots to make sure that the soil is fully settled into the pot and that there's no air pockets in there. When taking your cuttings, you want to make sure you're cutting right below a leaf node or a set of leaves, and then you're just going to tear those leaves off of the bottom. I like there to be at least 2 leaf nodes below the soil. Again, for each of these cuttings, I'm going to get about 2 plants. Now I'm just sticking them right into the soil. I'm not even using rooting hormone. A lot of herbs like this don't really need rooting hormone, especially during this time of year where they're putting off new growth. They've already got that growth hormone running through the plant, so you really don't need to use it. And herbs are so easy to root that I've never had to use rooting hormone for any type of herb, really. And you can use the same method for lavender, mint, a lot of like oregano even. I've done it with marigolds and tarragon. It's awesome. It works for everything. Now we're just going to water these in really well. Now it's time to move these to a safe place where they're going to get plenty of airflow. You want to make sure over the next few weeks that the soil stays moist. It doesn't need to be wet, so when you put your finger in the soil, you want to be able to feel some moisture, but you don't want it to feel like mud or wet soil. We're going to keep this in a greenhouse shelf with the front panel open so it can get plenty of airflow. These should begin to root in about 4 to 6 weeks, and you can plant them anytime as long as you baby them. However, I like to wait until the fall before I put them in the ground. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you try propagating some of your own rosemary. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.